Well, good morning, everybody. It is October the 9th, and this is the Squamish Real Estate Show. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the 10 things that you can do to get your home ready for sale and to maximize the return on your investment. There are a few simple things that we can be doing, and I'm going to go through those from number 10 down to number 1. So pay attention and watch the entire episode so that you can get to the number one thing that's going to impact the dollar value that you're going to get for your home. This is super important, and I want you guys to really pay attention. Let's jump right into it, and let's start off with the number 10. And I've left it at number 10, although it's super important. It is something that everybody knows, and that's pricing your property right. When you price your property correctly, you will either drive a large number of buyers to your property, or you'll drive just the right number of buyers to your property. But pricing the property incorrectly will prevent the property from being able to attract the number of buyers that you need in order to get an offer. So it is critical. There are three pricing strategies that we can use. We can price the property below market value, we can price the property at market value, or we can price the property slightly above market value. Each of those depends on which direction the market is heading and how strong the movement is in the market. Talking to your realtor can obviously give you some advice and make sure that you're implementing the correct strategy that works for you and the correct strategy that's going to work in the current market conditions. So that's the pricing it right. Then let's get on with some staging ideas. Number 2, to look at half the amount of clothes in your closet. I know that sounds funny, but what we need to do is we need to create space. So if you take out right now you'd be taking out, say, your summer clothes and putting them away and just leaving some of your winter clothes in there, it makes the closet look much bigger. And this is a great asset to people when they're looking to buy a property. Now, the next topic we're going to talk about is lighting. You always want to make sure that you have adequate lighting in your property. If you go in and you feel like your property or your living room per se is a little bit darker than it should be, go get a lamp. Get a couple of lamps, get a couple of stand floor lamps that are a little bit higher, get a couple of table lamps. Whatever it takes to create a little bit more light in the room is incredible. If you have drapes blocking part of the window, open the drapes all the way and allow that light to come in. This is critical when you're selling your home because the brighter the home feels and looks, the better it'll look to a client. Now, on that note of lighting, there's also the consideration of paint colors. So if you have a lot of dark paint colors, maybe over the winter you might want to consider changing some of the paint colors to a lighter, more neutral beige color or a lighter sort of off-white. That will allow the home to seem much brighter and lighter. The next tip we're going to talk about, which is number 4. So we're now at tip number 4. Really important. Of course, I'm going to say this, you got to hire the right agent. So there's a few things. We have a checklist of about 15 things that we advise clients to go through when they're selecting an agent. But 3 of the key components, make sure your realtor is experienced. There is no need to hire somebody that doesn't have the experience or the qualifications to market your home, or even if you're a buyer, to represent you as a buyer. But always make sure that realtor has a ton of experience. Make sure they have at least 100 deals under their belt. I mean, we're talking, I'm now at the point where I have I probably have over 5,000 deals under my belt. So that's super helpful. That experience allows you to deal with all different situations that could arise during a negotiation, and also helps you advise the client on what can actually sell a property. So that's one thing. Make sure your agent is a full-time agent. In Squamish, there's probably over 50% of our agents that are only working part-time. Now, how an agent is going to be able to represent you part-time, I have no idea. I mean, I work 40 hours a week, probably closer to 60 hours a week, but a minimum of 40 hours a week. And I have an assistant, and I have a marketing assistant, and I have an accountant. I have so many people working with me, and I'm still having to work at least 40 hours a week and closer to 60 hours a week. So keep that in mind, that you need to have an agent that is working full-time, not a part-time agent. Now, the other thing that's really important is make sure you have a technologically savvy agent. Video is king right now in the marketplace. If your agent is not doing videos of your property, that's not going to help at all. And if your agent is not comfortable in front of the camera, what makes you think for a second they're going to be comfortable negotiating an offer or comfortable doing what it needs to be done in order to sell your house? If the agent cannot get themselves out of the comfort zone and do things like video, and I'm here doing a video, isn't that funny? But anyways, if you can't get out there and do that, then they're not going to be able to sell your home. Make sure they're technologically savvy. They understand social media. It is very powerful when marketing your home. Now back to the looking into your home itself. Let's talk about smells. and signs of pets. Everybody thinks it might be cute to have their dog bed out displayed. It's not a great idea. You need to get rid of the smell of all animals in your house. You need to get rid of all signs of those animals being there. Get rid of the puppy dishes. Get rid of the puppy toys. Get rid of the cat litter box. Make sure it can't be seen. You have to get rid of all aspects of animals in your house. There's the reality that nobody doesn't like a home that has nothing in it. However, many people do like the idea of a home that has never been occupied by pets. So if you can take that out of there, then you're going to appeal to a broader market. Tip number, where are we now? We're at number 6, I think. So if we're at number 6, we want to make sure that any changes we make to our house, we don't over upgrade. Squamish has an interesting market in this regard. You can't put in custom milled and shaped cabinets and expect to return the value on that. Right now, there's so many kitchen cabinet manufacturers and bathroom vanity manufacturers that are producing product that is really good, but it's less expensive. Now, it can look great, it can function great, it can be good quality, but you don't have to go over the top. So make sure you're selecting the right product for your house, something that's going to look good, something that is good quality, but it doesn't need to cost an arm and a leg because you won't get extra return for it. Tip number 7. So if we go down to tip number 7, now we're talking about decluttering. We talk a little bit about cleaning up a house, but decluttering and depersonalizing is really, really important. So we want to take as much of the loose ends we can from around the house, pack them up into boxes and make them ready to go. If we're talking to our clients, we always give them a bunch of boxes, and that way they have stuff to start putting a place to start putting all the stuff, and then you put it in the garage. When a client comes to see your house, if they see boxes, they know you're ready to move. Hey, let's face it, you've got your house for sale. Why wouldn't you be ready to move? So take all that stuff out. Now, depersonalizing in regard to staging is an interesting topic because when we depersonalize a home, we don't want to over depersonalize it. We don't want to make it look like you're in a mall with no pictures of any people, no living there at all. But we do want to take down some of it. So if you have a family wall, perhaps, that has like 100 pictures of your family up, take those down. If you have a living room and there's 22 pictures of your family spread out across end tables and on the mantelpiece and things like that, take some of those down. You can leave up a picture or two. If you have a picture of, a couple and a wife, a couple and their kid, and you want to have that in your room, that's okay. But just don't go over the top with that. So let's make sure we don't leave up too much of the personal stuff. Number 8, when you're doing work on your house, remember that the kitchen always comes first. The kitchen is the heart of the home, so always try to make sure that you're working on the kitchen and getting things done in the kitchen first. The kitchen should be the cleanest. The kitchen should show the most counter space. We declutter the stuff off of the kitchen counter, and we always want to make sure the kitchen is clean, super clean. So that's really important. When you're doing any renovations, cabinets, pick something that's a neutral color. White is still a go-to on the kitchen cabinets, and a light colored countertop is also really good. Now, the next thing that comes after the kitchen is your entry, then your outdoor space, and then your bathrooms. We always want to make sure that the entry is spacious and has enough room to put clothes when people come in. You want to put shoes down and not block the door, those sorts of things. You want to make sure the outdoor space in the backyard or on your decks is looking really, really nice, because you want to make it inviting that people realize they can extend their living space from outside of the home onto the outdoor space. In Squamish, that's super important. Everybody loves being outside here. So let's make sure that our outdoor space looks good. Now, onto the bathrooms. Bathrooms obviously need to be super clean and smell free. Anytime you have an opportunity to do a little bit of an upgrade in your bathroom, that's great. And stage it with very clean, nice colored towels, and make sure there's a theme in each bathroom, a color theme that resonates throughout the entire bathroom to add to the look of the whole space. The more peaceful you can make it look, the better. Number 9, when you actually get to the point where you're listing your home, make sure it's ready to show. So always have your house ready and always be ready to show it on short notice. You want to make people think that no matter when they request a showing, that your home is always like this. And when people believe that, they think, hey, this person really takes care of their house, therefore I should buy their house. It seems small, but it's a big deal. And I know it's hard, but remember, you're not trying to live in your home right now, you're trying to sell it. So take the time, make sure it's always ready to show. Before you go to bed every night, put everything away so that you don't have to deal with it in the morning when you're trying to get ready for work. Finally, number one, the number one thing that you can do is to make sure your curb appeal is exceptional. You have to realize that even when your home is not for sale, people are driving by your house or driving by the condo complex, and the first thing they see is your doorway, your entryway, your space. And when they get the feeling that that's a type of house they'd like to live in, or that's the type of duplex they'd like to live in as they drive past it, when it comes for sale, people are going to go, oh my gosh, that yellow house on the corner, it's for sale. I can't believe it. It's always looks so meticulous. I'm sure the inside is gorgeous. And then they have a great first impression. On top of that, when it comes to the actual showing of your home, a typical buyer will walk into the home and their first thought is, wow, this place looks really nice. I really like the entryway. It looks lovely. And then after they've toured the home, when they're leaving and they go to lock the door, they step back and they might look over their shoulder and go, gosh, I love that home. It looks so well put together. So you can leave a first impression and a last impression, and guess what? It's the key impression. So make sure you're doing those 10 things. That's going to allow you to maximize the return on your property at all times. This is Simon Hudson with the Squamish Real Estate Show. Hope you enjoyed the information in it. And as always, if you have any questions at all, call me 604-892-8155 or send me an email at simon@simonhudson.ca, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks very much and have a fantastic day.